evening, and welcome to Metaphysical Today. Of course, Miss Hayes is back in the house. Whoop, whoop. How are you,
Yes,
darling?
I'm okay, thank you. Not planning to go anywhere else.
Good. We love when you're here. We've missed you.
I bet it was quiet.
No, it wasn't quite. Miss Natalie filled in for you, but, we still miss you in the house. We still miss your talking and your gossiping.
It's
So
okay, I'm having a flush.
we're both having a flush, okay? Let's just clear this up. It is hot as Hades here. It is hot as Hades in the UK. The only benefit is I've got a few little ACs in the windows. I think you guys just have not put them in yet.
No, we don't have them over here.
Oh my goodness!
Do you want to see what I've got?
A fan?
I can't pull it out. A little tiny fan on my desk.
Oh goodness! Y'all guys,
Of course,
go for it.
we can't open the windows upstairs because we got a suicidal cat.
Oh, maybe we need to get him a harness.
Well, need something for him, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, so it's been a week. It's been a very busy week. Let me update you. I started DJing in a club. That's kind of fun.
Oh, go you!
Yeah. It's virtual, so I don't have to leave my house. I just get to mix music and all that fun stuff. Of course, the good old cat has been a total rotten little skank. She's been attempting to get Gizmo in trouble, and it's like, you get yourself away from his room. He done told you he doesn't like you.
Poor Gizmo.
Yeah, I know. He's outside enjoying the heat, though, right now. I'm going to have to bring him in a little bit.
Bless him.
Yeah. But what about you? How's Parker? How's the boys?
I haven't seen Parker for 2 weeks.
Oh, goodness. You're going through baby withdrawal.
But he's come in to stay on the weekend, and Nanny is taking him to a carnival.
Ooh, to a carnival. Okay,
Yes.
Now is that the same here? Like, are we going to, put him up on the Ferris wheel? And
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. He'll be too little to go on anything, but it's going to be for the lights.
Uh-huh.
And just for the colours. I think he'll enjoy that.
I think he will, too. I think that'll just be fun for both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt Nanny will come home skint because Parker will have everything he sees.
Exactly. Everything that he can put his little paws at and grab at. We know Mr. Parker will get it himself.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
Of course he will. That's what I'm for.
Yeah. But it's so cool that you guys have carnivals. We don't have them anymore.
Don't
do y'all
you?
have sideshow? Not that often in the area that we're in. Now, we have theme parks that are like carnivals all the time, but not like, they travel and do all that.
Yeah.
So do you, do y'all still have sideshows or no?
Once the carnival have happened, then like everything goes onto the green where they have like all little side things for the kids to do.
Oh, okay. But not like the Bionic Man that can lift 3,000 pounds or
No. It's
okay.
things like Punch and Judy and like, how can I put it? Can you get the hoop around the bottle and things like that?
Little carnival games. Cool.
Yeah.
So how's your Trooping of the Colors?
Do you know, I didn't get to watch it.
Oh, no. Well, it's up online.
I'll watch it because I've been taking it easy this week and I slept most of Saturday. So I will catch up with it. I did see it on the news. And I tell you what, those children, they are just how children should behave.
Right. And they're being kept children, which I love right now.
Yeah. They pull faces. They're just normal children.
Yeah, and that's the way I think they should be, as long as possible. I mean, their career is already set for them.
Yeah.
Every one of them already has their career chosen. They just right now need to be children. Like they can be under our magnifying glasses later.
And they're just so comical.
They are, but I think that it's really good that they're seen as normal children.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
They're going to make faces. They're going to get shocked over the airplanes. The whole 9 yards.
Definitely.
So I've been doing some research on some things because I'm writing, but also I've been like listening to some like paying attention to how authors present stuff that are historical.
Yeah.
And I want to know how often you hear someone say, "I want a relationship just like my grandma and grandpa had."
Do you know, I think this is going to sound really bad. I think those times have been and gone.
Right. But not only that, but most grandma and grandpas, you see that relationship after like 20, 30 years.
Yes.
After she's done beat his ass around that house so many times, he can't put up with it.
Yeah.
And, they've just settled into the idea of this is how it is. Yeah. Like, we're going to stay together.
We got something over here we call empty nest syndrome.
We do too.
Yeah. And I think until the kids have left home, you don't really know if you can live with each other.
See, I think that it's different. And this is what I mean by that, is you can live with the younger version of yourselves. Because that's why you fell in love and all that.
Yeah.
But then the kids come along and y'all change. And you have like 18, 19, 20 years of that. And then you have to get to know each other again.
Yeah. Yeah. Over here, we find the highest level of divorce is when the kids have left home.
Mm-hmm.
Because by
the job
then,
is done.
Yeah. Yeah. By then, the parents see that they've got nothing in common anymore.
Right.
And that sounds really horrible. That, yes, they've brought up the children. They've both worked hard throughout their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've got nothing to reward them at the end of it, if that makes sense.
It does. Or they make, they're just too different anymore to get back to, where they were. Or you have what I call we over here call the Catholic divorced couple.
Right.
He lives here and he has his life here. She lives like in Florida or whatever. And she has her life there. They see each other on the holidays because, the kids are around. And then after that, they go on with their own lives.
We don't get so much of that over here. We get like the parents live in separate houses because that's the only way the relationship can survive.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, brilliant. The kids are lucky then, they've got 2 houses to go to.
Right.
And
sometimes that's all that matters.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants their children to feel that they don't belong with either parent or that they spite in one parent because they're spending time with the other.
Mm-hmm.
The children need to feel that they can come and go to whoever's house when they want to.
Right. And, sometimes it works best to have that independent life.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people get painted this rosy picture of the past. Well, some of them do. The other part is that they try to apply today's values to the past. And that doesn't work. That ideaism of, well, I don't want to have to, I want my man to take care of me. I'm sorry, the women of that day took care of their man just as much as the men took care of the house. They cooked, they cleaned, they got up at 4:00 in the morning, packed a man a lunch to last him all day. Perked his coffee, made his breakfast, made the kids breakfast, and then started their day of housekeeping. Like, I don't know where people get this idea that housekeeping is easy, because it isn't.
No, it's not. Far from
Or,
easy.
raising kids is easy, because it isn't. And,
Is it a full-time job being a parent?
it is. It's a full-time job being a parent. It's a full-time job being a house engineer.
Yeah.
And then also like support running company, the Dan's career. This is what a lot of people don't realize, is there is a lot of support that, goes into running someone else's career. What I mean by that is, if you want the life of the 50s, a century ago, that means you're waking up at 4:45 in the morning to get lunches packed and dinners packed and buckets packed.
Light the fire, get the coal in.
Mm-hmm. Get the water boiling.
Yeah.
Ironing,
When you think about it, those many years ago, they had things a lot harder. All the washing had to be done by hand. They didn't have automatic washing machines or dishwashers.
Right.
And I always remember saying to my nan when I was little, "Nan, what's those spots on the back of your hands?"
Mm-hmm.
And she used to tell me all the times, because I worked so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm grown up, I can believe that.
Yeah. Those are probably scars from the iron.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, we're lucky. We get up, throw a load of washing in, turn the cooker on or the heating. They couldn't do any of that.
Right. Didn't do any of that.
No.
And there had to be teamwork going on there.
Yes. Yeah.
To
definitely.
survive. But I don't know. I think that some of them have nostalgia imprinted as, oh, this is how, they had this loving, caring. No, they didn't.
No. They were too busy to spend time with each other.
Well, and even if they did spend time with each other, what you did not see is those years of fighting and arguing and taking the piss out of each other and tearing into like, oh, no, you ain't going out with the boys tonight to the pub. You're going to stay the hell home and help me, process this meat or whatever the situation was. And sometimes that wasn't pretty.
No. But if you look at how things have changed, they didn't have supermarkets back in that days. They had greengrocers, butchers. Everything was bought fresh. Every night you'd have a fresh cooked meal on the table. There was nothing pre-bought.
Or prepackaged.
No, most households had between 10 and 15 kids because that's how they were back then.
Right.
Things are totally different now, but yet, if you think back, their relationships lasted longer.
Well, they did, because they had to work at it. They had to be communicated. There was no, well, I'll have my own bank account. Fuck you. There's barely enough money to keep in one bank account.
But that's the truth, isn't it?
Right. But I also think relationships were different. It's like people nowadays get so shocked when I see my grandfather won my grandmother in a poker game.
Yeah.
And it's not a downfall. It's kind of like a common fact. My great aunt was also won in a different poker game, and she was put up against 2 bottles of wine.
But that's how things worked back then.
Well, that's how things worked back then, but that's also how that life was.
Yeah.
Things were different. Things were, I think, better at times, but I also think that when I hear people say that stuff, it's like, do you realize, well, one, now they're, oh my God, they were married at 13. They died in their 50s.
Yeah.
Commonly.
But I'm going to throw something else into the mix. You had unwell people in those days, but they didn't have as much as what illnesses we have now.
Oh, I agree.
Because they just used to get on with things and not worry.
Right.
I think anything with us, a few days of feeling unwell, we are going to the doctors.
Well, part of that, yes, but I also think that a lot of it has to do with, and this is a sidetrack of my continued bullshit into the big food market. A lot of it's the damn crap they're putting in our food.
Yeah.
Now, before you think I'm going to go screaming, "Oh, buy organic," there is no organic in this planet.
No.
Okay.
No.
But when you look at, like, I don't know, the crap they put in chicken nuggets, or the crap they put in a can of corn, or the crap they're putting in your green beans, you'll be going, no, I'm going over to the produce section and buying the fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fresh is no better these days.
Some of it is because they can't put so much stuff into the fresh. Like the soil's crap, so they have to put stuff into the soil. And yeah, there's pesticides. I'll give you that. There's pesticides across the planet. There's been enough pesticides in the freaking air for a while. There's that. Yeah. But the sodium glutamate is not allowed in your country. I think it is. So it's one of the preservatives is not allowed in the UK. It's an everyday thing over here.
See, but yet over here, they advise you to buy frozen vegetables because they are actually fresher than the fresh. Because a lot of our fresh fruit and veg are imported.
Right.
I remember this time last year, I could go shopping on a Monday, put all my vegetables and salad stuff in the fridge, and they would last until the Friday. I'm lucky now if they last until the Wednesday because they're going off so quick.
Yeah, and that's because the shipping is so messed up right now for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us, it's easier and cheaper to buy the frozen because we know it's fresh.
Right. But no, that's where I think a lot of our illness comes from, is from the food we're being fed. And if possible, try to get a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Get your locally stuff. Buy stuff that's in season.
Yeah. What I try to do, if I go to we don't so much have farmers markets for fruit and veg. We have like big markets where there's all the different stalls there. So what we'll do is me and a few friends will go there. We'll all buy a load of stuff, but then we all split it. And we do the same when we go to the butchers. Like the butchers will have a sale on. I think it's something like 10 trays of meat for £60.
Ooh, nice.
So then we'll buy the 10, but then we all shared it out between us.
Right. That's a good buy.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the candy you sent over, and your package will be going out soon. Problem is I've been looking at the candy and going, okay, what can I send her that actually is good? I'm not going to send you chemical crap. But the other side of that is, like, the taste was so different. Y'all guys, I wasn't putting it on. You Americans don't understand what chocolate tastes like.
Now you can see why I'm so voluptuous.
Well, I have a debate on that one, too. I think it's your genes.
Yeah. The problem is I can't bloody get into them.
No. Your genetic, because I see this with a lot of Welsh people. They're built stockier. You guys have freaking cold ass winters. You have to have warmth.
Yeah. And you know what? Both my sons are built exactly the same way as me. We just got on with it. It don't hold us back from doing anything.
Of course not. If it does not matter your size, you can go and exercise and starve yourself and live on watermelon. You still can't change your genetic pattern.
No.
But back to like relationships. People are like freaking out because they're finding out like their great grandmother was married at 13. That's normal.
Yeah. If you think about it, they didn't actually go for full education. And that's why, if you think about it, a lot of the older generation can't read or write properly because they were never taught, because they were too busy working or doing household chores.
Or raising the fields, or
Yeah.
tending the gardens, or hitting the, both our areas are heavy with hitting the mines.
Yes. Yeah.
But the reason you see these old couples walking around still holding hands and all that, one is for balance, but two, is because they've grown used to each other.
Yeah.
They've had all the fights, they've had all the arguments, they've had all the chasing around with a iron skillet and cracking him in the head when he comes in drunk from the pub.
But it's true. It really is.
Yeah. But nowadays, and you see it with your clients as much as I do, the first fight they have, it's like, we're done, we won't work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's building intimacy. That's learning, exactly where to aim at. That's learning, what your trigger points are. And I think that they, and that's a change in ideas. That's a change in focus. That's a change in different things.
I had a client today. Her and her boyfriend have been together for 3 years, and they've had their first argument. And she said to me, "Is it over with?" I said, "No." I said, "But God damn, you're bloody lucky that it's taken this long to have an argument."
Oh, God. 3 years. She must have the patience of Job, or he came house trained. One of the two.
But a relationship isn't all plain sailing. You've got to have arguments to keep the relationship alive.
Well, not only that, but you got to have arguments to fix the problems. Because nowadays you really don't get to the problems until you're really starting to lay into a good argument. And it's like, oh, well, here's the problem. I don't wake up when you start talking. Please shut up until I wake up.
Yeah. Over here, we have a lot of nursing homes, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of our nursing homes, they've got married couples who've been together all their lives. And I remember they went in to do like a news broadcast. The one couple had been married, I think it was 75 years. They were both really, really elderly. And it's so funny now. And they said, "How have your marriage lasted so long?" She said he had meat and 2 veg every day for dinner at 5 o'clock. If he wasn't home, it went in the dog. And then he would have to do what I told him. If he didn't, he would suffer. So the broadcaster said, "So how have you both lived so long?" He said, "Sex 3 times a week and a tot of whiskey every night."
That sounds like a plan.
But when you think back, that's probably how they did things.
Right.
Because they'd have a tot of whiskey to keep them warm. They didn't have TVs in those days, and they had loads of kids. So it all makes sense.
It makes sense. Well, and they had a load of kids because there was no birth control.
Yeah.
Other than trying to keep up with the calendar. And I'm sorry, y'all ladies are trying to do that. That's why they, that gets interesting in its own self. But, and a lot of the word intimacy today is sex. And it's not sex.
No,
it's not. Having that ability to be soft. It's having that ability to go, you know what? I am so sick and tired of you throwing your dirty socks down in my living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about learning about each other. In those days, if they didn't work as a team, nothing would get done.
No. Nothing.
Because if he had been out all day at the mines working, if he hadn't have brought the coal in the night before, he wouldn't have had a bath when he got home.
And he wouldn't be walking in my house either.
No, because he had to have a bath in front of a hot fire, which would keep the bath hot.
Right.
So that's how things are totally different now.
Well, they are. And there's a lot of totally different things. There's a lot of, this constant communication that we now have is the biggest problem in relationships, really and truly. And, Techie talked about it last night on the Psychic of the Planets. There's been a few days that me and him don't talk at all. We're in the same house. We got crap going on. he's working, I'm working, I'm doing 40 different things because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Aeson. He's got clients all over the world he's meeting with. And like Tuesday and Wednesday, we barely talk to each other.
Yeah.
We sat down and had a conversation at dinner, and that was a work conversation of, so what are you doing this weekend? Well, I've got this one, this one, this one, this one. What are you doing? Well, I'm going to take a nap, and I've got to get this, and this updated, and I've got to build this. And this is how this stuff goes. Hello, Miss Brenda. Yeah. How are you?
Hi, Brenda. And that's the thing as well. It's a lack of communication where people lose touch with their lives.
Well, not only lose touch with their lives, but lose touch with their emotions, lose touch with their situations, But on the other side of that, I can see exactly what my husband's doing 95% of the time. You want to know why? He's a Facebooker. He will write and post these big, beautiful conversations on Facebook. And it's like, okay, well, damn, I didn't know that you had a clue about this. And I'm going to have to research this. And he's like, you stalk my Facebook. It's like, honey, you're marked as a favorite on my Facebook so that I can at least see when you post something.
At least I know you're alive then.
Exactly. But the other side of that is, so yeah, during Wednesday and Thursday, he posted a few things, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what he's doing. There was no need to have a conversation on it. I commented on his Facebook and went on. Yeah, Brenda loves his rants. I do too. I love but I'm so glad that he does them on Facebook instead of in my living room.
I'm going to have to add tech. You can imagine the conversations we love.
Oh, goddess, here we go. You'll love his conversations.
Bless him.
Recently he made me a lovely throw. He knits. He's a knitter. He's gotten back into this big yarn knitting.
Oh, that's beautiful, that is.
It is. And I looked at the yarn forever, and I'm like, ooh, I want a robe out of this. It's so soft. And he just looks at me like, I don't think so, Joe. That look of, I don't think so.
But then you found what works with you both, so you still have a balance while working.
Well, not only while working, but just in life. And I'm thinking of these people that call us. You didn't like my story for the past 3 weeks. Well, stories delete themselves in 24 hours. The man's working 40, 50 hours a week. When's he supposed to even have time to be scrolling Facebook? Like men pay attention to it to begin with.
If I had £1 for every time a client says to me, oh, they're liking somebody else's photos on Facebook. Facebook isn't the real world. Get a grip.
Well, can I take that a little farther?
Go on.
All right. Oh, I don't have my phone here. Look at the size of my hands. You know what I'm scrolling with? My thumb.
Yeah.
I'm right-handed. As you're scrolling, guess where those marks are at? Right there underneath the thumb. There are so many videos I've liked on TikTok that I don't even remember watching.
And that's the thing, Brenda. I don't know whether it's because we are older. We don't take notice of it. But it's like, it's not the real world. You sat behind a screen.
Right.
It's not where they're going to go and knock on their door and say, let's go for tea.
Right.
And I think that's
time for tea.
Yeah. And I think Facebook and social media is a big thing that destroys relationships and trust.
Well, I don't think it destroys. I think the expectation is what destroys it. Okay.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is this. If you expect your man to pay attention to every damn word you want, respond to every post you make, heart and love every damn thing you do, honey, let's have a conversation. Are you a social media influencer? Are you making $3,000 and $5,000 a day off of social media? Do you want your man to be sitting on the couch behind you as you're doing all this work? No? Then shut the hell up and let him go work his job.
Yeah. And do you get a lot of, well, he's been online, but he hasn't checked my message?
Oh, my God. Okay. Right now,
I'm taking these off now because they're getting steamed up.
That's fine. Right now, we are here on live.
Yes.
I'm currently active in Facebook Messenger. There's a number of messages. I look like I'm active on Instagram. I look like I'm active everywhere. You want to know why? Because my phone that's sitting in the kitchen, because I was doing dishes right before we came on, it's turned on. I never log out of my apps. You know how I log out of my apps? I turn off my phone.
Yeah. When I go to bed, I just close everything on my computer to knock it off so that I'll have a rest. It works hard all day, every day. I don't log out to nothing because to me, it's easier in the morning to get back up, click the refresh icon, and it brings everything up the way it was before I went to bed.
Right.
The thing is, you're over the other side of the world, and you know the times I'll be in bed. So you know if you message me, you won't get a reply until I get up.
Right. I'm not going to get a reply. I'm not going to get a reply. Like, you were off for a week. You needed to be off for a week. I needed you out of the office for a week. I'm sure she had a stack of email waiting from me.
But you know that when I've got time, I'd get back to you.
Exactly. Big woohoo. Get back to me today, tomorrow, or next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it burning is my house burning down?
No.
None of this is important. If it was important, I'd pick up my phone and ring you.
Yes. Yeah. And we've done that before now.
Yeah. I love my international calling plan.
But that's the way it works. You've got to build trust in a relationship where social media is concerned.
Well, here's the thing. You got to build trust not only on social media, but you only got to give it like a 5%.
Yeah.
Okay, I give social media the same weight I give Joe picking up milk on the way home.
And that's after 10 texts to remind him.
Exactly. Yes, honey. You know how this works. Tell me or tell me not, you have been a wife before.
Because I wasn't well last week. Sean was going to do the shopping for me, bless him. So he said to me, right, I'm now leaving. I'll get to the shop in 10 minutes. So you've got 10 minutes to write me a list of what you need.
Uh-huh.
But that's the thing. It's about having communication. Yes, Sean is my son. Mm-hmm. We live in the same house. We argue. It's only natural. We're under each other's feet constantly.
Right. And, for me and my two, we don't argue that much. But when we do, it's steam kettle. It is a all-out yell fest, and it's over the stupidest shit.
Yeah. But it's been building for a while to get you to that point.
Uh-huh. Example. My neighborhood, me and Techie are famous for this. We decided to buy a dogwood tree and plant it in the front yard. There are some things you need to understand. One, I have lived in this house since 1992. I know where every piece of pipe was. I knew where every line was. I knew where everything was. Anything and everything that I could run into, I knew where it was.
Yeah.
Not a problem. We are aware of where all the stuff is. He comes from a construction family that's like, no, you have to call this number and they'll come out and spray paint your yard. I'm like, I do not want people coming into my yard and spray painting it. Furthermore, every time they come around, they find something that they can go nan about.
Yeah.
Don't call them. I know what I'm doing. So I go, pay for the tree, put the tree in the car, yada, yada. He's on the phone.
I can imagine that.
War over a tree.
See, but then it goes to show, don't piss me off, Joe. I know where everything is. You just don't know. You're not used to it.
Well, he hadn't lived in this house that long. I think he had only been here like 2 years. Well, now I have to call the damn utility company because they came in and moved everything on me. So it's like, fine, let's call the utility. Like this year, probably I'm going to end up planting some more trees because I don't know. I am the exact opposite of my father. My father wanted no trees in the yard. He didn't want to have to rake leaves, yada yada. I am like, bush me up. I want hedges all the way around.
Yeah.
With big old oak trees in here. Like, fill my yard up so if the next time they try to take a piece of my land again, they can pay me for it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just that. Do you know, the favorite time of the year for me is autumn.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit for hours just watching the trees move.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't just move, they change in front of you, sort of thing. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you privacy.
It gives you a lot of privacy. Like like the English have good hedges for a reason.
Yes.
And I'm planting them. Now, granted, it's taking them forever to grow. Like, I'm looking for a nice hedge that can grow, like, quickly. 2 years and it's 10 foot, I'm happy. But, you know, the other side of this is, you know, that's when he learned, like, no, he can freaking quote where lines are. Like, when they move the lines, I'm like, they're moving the gas line, there's the water line, there's the power line. And he's just looking at me like, how do you know this? And I'm like, I've lived here and worked on this house for over 20 years, dude.
Do you know, over here, for each one of our utilities, we've got little boxes.
Uh-huh.
They'll be out by our front doors or out by our back doors.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells us where our utilities are, what we're using, how much we're using.
Right. But no,
and that's
we
all
have like lines. Like the lines for the water and stuff is in the yards.
right. Yeah.
Okay. And like you have to call before you dig so that you don't hit them.
God.
I know, right?
See, it's pathetic, isn't it?
Right. It's different.
Yes.
So, but no, like that is probably one of the biggest arguments, but something came out of it really well. At the end of the argument, I'm sitting on the front porch steaming. I'm talking. I have raised the roof 10 foot in the air, and he just walks up and he looks at me and goes, "Do I need to go get a hotel room or can I come home?" And I says, "You get your ass in the damn house where you fucking belong." End of the argument.
But that's how we should be. They shouldn't be dragged on.
No.
You know, an argument is done. Leave it there. Don't keep bringing it back up.
Right. Well, we bring them up, but we bring up the arguments because it's like these are the lessons you learn. Now, everybody on this damn street was out on their front porch. Suddenly, you know, the old lady across the street needed to straighten up her plants. Another one was out and it's like, and they're like, "Don't mess with him." They're just waiting for me to like blow up, and they know it. Like for the entertainment for the neighborhood.
The thing is, you both learned so much about each other.
Exactly. You learn out of fighting. You learn out of, you learn communication. He learned that, like, no, he actually does know this house. Like, we'll go to change something in the house, and I'm like, the stud's right there. And he's like, how do you know where the studs are in this house? And I'm like, well, if you look at the wall, you can see where all the rut, that bend is, where, it's obviously I've had to draw a wall over it. That's because that's where all the nails used to be.
Yeah. But I think that's exciting as well. Arguments lead to so much more.
They do. They lead to more communication. They lead to seeing the other person's point of view, but they also lead to like, oh, he ain't playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a great believer in arguments happen for a reason.
Right.
And that reason is it's better to have an argument, blow off steam, than to literally turn your back and walk away.
Well, that or literally throw a fit and like blow up and walk out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think that's when you know that the relationship is over. Is when you don't care anymore to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
You know, when it's like, I don't care what the hell you do. Get the hell out. Go the hell home. You know, go wherever. That's when it's done. Like, pack it in, pack it up. You know it's over with.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something nobody wants to have to admit. So you work at things. Because there's one argument, it don't mean that you're over. It means you're learning about each other's ways. You're learning about each other's, I'm not going to say boundaries, but you're learning about trigger points.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, you're learning how to communicate. And sometimes you can't communicate like, honey, don't do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to look at them and say, look here. You do that one more time and I'm going to send you flying across this planet. I'd never lay a hand on him. But I'll tell you, there's been a few times with both of them. Now, my other partner, which you guys never get to see, we're going on 13 years. We had the most enjoyable day today. We got in the car, hit the gas station, got 2 big old 64-ounce things of soda, and off to the park we went.
Yeah.
I was prepared to go to dinner, go to the river. Now let's just go sit in the park. And we just sat there for 2 hours and talked.
But that's sometimes the best as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't see each other a lot, so doing that makes things so much easier.
Right. Well, and it had been we see each other all the time because, you know, he lives here. But the other part of that is he works the evenings. I go and gym and work nights. We talk, but we don't talk. We talk about, when do you go to work? What are you cooking for dinner? Can you take the cat out? And, you know, because the cat's technically his. Will you please come get this cat before I gyrate her into her room? You know, can you get the trash? Can you get the, you know, it's that operational conversation that you see a lot of couples now have. It's not real conversation. And I think that's where people get into so much trouble in a relationship, is they don't take time to have that non-operational conversation. So how you doing? What's going on at work? Where are you at?
Yeah.
You know, where are we at? You know, what's going on with you? You know, have you called your mother? You know, that type of thing. Because you get so busy with, you know, Johnny's got to go to baseball, and then, you know, Susie's got to go to dance, and, you know, oh, I'll be late for work, and the boss is coming over on Thursday, all these other things.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's about moving forward the way that suits you as a family unit.
Right.
Because no matter who lives in your house, it's a family unit.
Right.
And I think that's important as well, all being on the same sheet to know what everybody got to do.
Right. Exactly. But that doesn't leave time for the 2 or 4 or whatever your configuration is to have real conversation, to see not the role you're playing in the house, not the title in the house, not, you know, example, not invisible in Aeson, but what's really going on underneath that surface.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and he's like, how's the writing going? And I'm like, it's there. And, you know, we worked out some plot lines and storylines, that type.
And that's the other thing with social media. If a couple have an argument, the whole bloody world knows about it because they put it on social media.
Right.
And I'm a great believer in your private life should be private.
Well, yes.
You and Techie wouldn't have a big argument, then write it on Facebook.
Oh yeah, we do, because it's normally funnier than hell. But that's me and him. Like, that's been our thing. Granted, we try not to have face-to-face arguments because we're too explosive.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you're putting it on Facebook, it's more for the joke than the seriousness of it.
Exactly. But it's when we've gotten past that laugh.
Yeah, not when you're actually killing each other and having a screaming fit. And that's what really, it's like your private life is private.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to know that you had a Chinese chicken last night, had brilliant sex, and then went to bed. Why is that anybody else's business?
Exactly.
That's special to the two of you.
Yeah. Hi, find me a medium. Exactly. Then the baristas get to go, oh, poor Joe. You really should go, oh, poor neighborhood. Like, he's been screaming, like, because when I am mad, there is nobody in this neighborhood that does not know that I'm mad, because every cabinet door has been slammed. Every front door has been slammed. The front door slams. The car door slams. The music is louder than, they can hear it 3 blocks away because I've got a good sound system, because my husband's a techie. Like, it is on, and everybody knows, oh shit, he's in a bad mood today.
Brenda, next time they have a fight, let me know. I'll come and rescue Joe. He can bring you some chocolate back.
You might want to plan that plane ticket. I promise you, because there's been a few days he's been on my nerves. He's yanking for a good iron skillet.
Oh, I'll find me a medium. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. I can't cope.
These are the things that make a good relationship.
Yeah.
These are the things where it's like, oh, this is what the thing is going on. Oh, this is what you're seeing versus what I'm seeing. And it's like, he didn't know that, we had replaced the water lines in 96. He had replaced
Hi, Veronica.
he had, I had to have the gas line worked on, the phone line. We knew where that was because they had to come out here and dig it up and put a whole new line in. Like, these are things that I've dealt with over the years. He doesn't have that knowledge.
But this isn't just in couple relationships. Friendships, you need arguments as well.
Oh, God. Friendships, those are even more dangerous.
Look how many times we've messaged each other and said, I'm fucked off. Right? Why? What's up? But that's the good thing. If we disagree about something, which is really, really rare, we talk it out.
Exactly.
But then it's forgotten about. And that's how people need to be in real life.
Exactly. When you're packing it around like a Facebook memory that pops up from 10 years ago, put a brick in your purse. Just for every argument you're carrying around, put a brick in your purse.
You can stop. Excuse me. Stop. Veronica, I'm from the Rhondda Valleys, from Treorchy. So no doubt if you ask your hubby where that is, he'll know it straight away. Port Talbot we used to go to when we were children to watch the fireworks and to see the steelworks from the beach, as sad as that sounds. I've got a fan to you.
That sounds lovely. I mean, to go to the beach and watch the steelworks. Sad, I don't think at all. I think that sounds enchanting.
But the sad thing is, they've closed all the steelworks now.
Really?
They've made them all redundant. Yeah. See, Veronica knows Treorchy.
Yep.
It's a small world we all live in.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica, where do you live now, if you don't mind me asking? Because it's always nice to know where our new viewers are.
She's a few minutes behind.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a heat wave, honey.
It's the age, honey.
Yeah. Plus, it's the solar flares. Plus, it's everything else.
Yeah, we got something going on in the universe tonight. I haven't read about it because that sends my mind into haywire. Because you know what happens? Something electrical breaks.
That's you. West Midlands, but trying to move North Wales.
Oh,
Yeah, that
North
house will be selling probably in mid-June.
I was just going to say the same within a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
North Wales is beautiful. It really is. I now live in Norfolk, so I've still got the beaches around me.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Well, I'm personally live every Monday night from 10 p.m. our time. So you're more than welcome to come and join us. And check the website, which Aeson will say at the end, because that have lots of information when Aeson is live as well.
Yeah, because I do a lot of shows. I do a lot of things. All right, darling. Speaking of doing a lot of things, you know that one?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's lots of famous people from our area. Like, the ginger singer, Ed Sheeran. He owns property not far from me.
Very cool.
Yeah, there's lots of famous people all around this area.
Awesome.
And
so
of course,
you work in this famous people.
Don't get jealous.
I'm not jealous.
Mr. PMP. I'm back to my normal hours now.
Wonderful.
Which are from about 9 a.m. till about midnight, but taking that break in the afternoons.
Yes, you're taking your siesta.
Yes. But it's hit and miss on Saturday because I've got my little baby. And Sunday afternoon, I won't be working because I'm taking him out.
Well, good.
And what about yourself?
I'm on my midnights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm working from about 11 to 3, and then I hit the club for a little bit.
You need psychological help, you do.
It's the Vampiro. Honey, if I could figure out a way to get there and move there permanently, I probably would be in the UK in a heartbeat. I'm sorry. You guys are just better.
Brenda, I've just had a vision. Newsflash from Sandringham. Tent pitched in royal grounds.
More like newsflash. The royals have now appointed a new astrologer as the royal astrologer.
It's so nice to be back after having a week off.
I know.
See, Brenda agrees with me. You'll be phoning me. I've run out of toilet room. Can you pop one out?
I can see that. Yeah, you were very much missed. You were very much. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. All right, so we do want to take a time and thank our patrons that makes this station possible. We want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Joan Owens, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Davin. If you would like to support the show or the network, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com. I will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. with a guests. We'll be discussing all the portals around the world, and we'll be talking about some interesting topics since portals have big gaming in our local case things. So we're going to clear that up too. I think it'll be a really fun show. And of course, after our guest, Techie will come on and we'll be doing Are You an Asshole? And Relationship Advice.
I'm answering that.
Yeah, you're going to have to stay up and watch it. It's a Reddit section where they get to vote. All right, guys. We will see you next Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
Bye.